there's no buses running that early in the morning.
No, they're not.
So, one, what are you doing out
Where are your
that early in the
kids?
morning?
Where are your
Exactly.
kids?
And why are you out that early in the morning? So it's like, yeah, you get no sympathy from me whatsoever
Yeah.
because that is all fucking on you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they want to blame then people who don't know anything want to blame us for being harsh, and it's
It's
just
like
kind of like, no, you don't get it. I mean, and
you did this.
the entitled mentality, even when you try to raise them to understand that, you have to work, you have to be able to support yourself because
Yeah.
you can't
Well,
live
see,
the
my
rest of your
oldest
life with your
daughter,
parents.
my youngest daughter offered to get an apartment with her,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and she said no.
Well, then it's her fault.
That's on her
Yeah.
because she would have to actually do something.
Yeah.
And my youngest daughter is working. She started working on a cruise ship, did the whole cruise ship thing.
Right.
So she's working on a cruise ship. I don't know if she actually went through with it
Mhm.
because she doesn't talk to me.
Well,
Which I mean, which is
I
up to
watched
her.
this guy on the TikTok, and he was like, everybody's saying, work harder, blah blah blah. It they can't people can't support themselves working on the salaries and stuff that that are going on right now. But it's like my husband made a point yesterday or the day before, I forget. We were having a conversation. We had the same thought process when we were young. We always believed too, that, because as you grow, as you age, and the generations before and the generations, ahead, times always change. Time is always moving forward.
Yes, it does.
Everybody always has this, but everybody's basically the same. You know, we're not going to be able to afford a house because prices are going up, but at the same time, wages haven't increased to try
Well,
to,
no
help with that.
wages. See here, this is what kills me.
Ah,
Okay, so I've never been able to get a house.
okay.
One, I don't have any credit. Okay.
Mhm.
Two, I don't never actually knew where I actually wanted to settle down.
Fair.
So what's the point of buying a house if you don't know if that's where you want to be the rest of your freaking life?
Fair enough.
So it's like, and I've always worked.
Uh-huh.
I've
Same
always
here.
had to get up and go to work
Uh-huh.
because that's the way I was raised.
Right.
You get up, you go to work.
Get up,
You
go to
may
work.
not like the job,
Yeah, but you do
but you
it.
don't quit until you get another job
Yeah.
that you like better
Fair.
or that's paying more money.
Yeah.
You just don't quit without a
A backup.
backup plan.
Yeah.
And that's my oldest daughter. She'll get a job. She doesn't like it. She'll quit. Go find another job.
Yeah.
No, find another job before you quit.
My daughters look at me like I have two heads because when I was working, even when I was a young adult, when I was working, I did not make the amount of money that they make now.
No,
My youngest daughter, she's making nearly $20 an hour. You know how much I was making when I was her age? $2. $2
yeah, a
an
lot
hour.
less. A lot less. When I
And they
was
sit there and they say, "Oh, well, you guys had it so much easier." No, we
no,
busted our freaking butts to get where we were.
when I when I lived in Arizona, I was working three jobs. One job, when I first moved there, the only place I could find was McDonald's.
Mhm. Yep.
That was paying minimum wage.
Mhm.
And minimum wage back then in Arizona was $3.80 an hour.
Yep.
So I was really happy when the a store opened up in the air in the area,
Mhm.
or it didn't open up. Somebody bought it out and they were opening it up
Okay.
under their name.
Okay.
So I applied for a stocker's job
Mhm.
at $5 an hour.
Well, there you go.
So I was happy.
Yeah.
So I was making $5 an hour, and then I was working part time at the because I lived in a trailer park.
Mhm.
So I worked part time at the trailer park, cutting grass
Yeah.
for the trailer park company,
You
the
did
trailer
you
park
you did what you had
manager.
you yeah, you did what you had to do in order to be able to
And
live.
the girl that I was seeing at the time,
Uh-huh.
she worked for Nabisco.
Okay.
So when she quit and moved back someplace, moved east,
Mhm.
she actually suggested that I take over her Nabisco route.
Okay.
So on my days off, I worked Nabisco for 8 hours a day,
Nice.
and it was like $11 an hour. So that's the
Every j-
only way I
every
was.
yeah, every job
That's
you
the
get
only
an
way I was
increase.
getting ahead.
Right.
And then when I moved down to I had I was working for Southwest Supermarkets in Arizona, and they have a bunch of stores. So I was transferring down to the Phoenix area.
Mhm.
So I was working. I went down there, and I worked for Nabisco, or I was doing the Nabisco thing at the same time,
Mhm.
Oreo cookies and stuff like that.
Right,
So I was
right.
doing that at the same time. So I'd work swing shift or work graveyard,
Uh-huh.
10:30 at night to 7 in the morning,
Mhm.
get a couple hours sleep, and then I'd go do Nabisco.
Right.
That was getting old because I was
Fair.
doing it every day.
Yeah.
So
You didn't have a break.
yeah, and I was working. I was making $10 an hour because I
Uh-huh.
got a raise
Right?
at one place,
Mhm.
and so I quit the Nabisco job, which was a merchandiser, and
Okay.
I was still making. I still had enough money to pay my bills
Yeah.
and take care of what needed to get taken care of.
Right.
I even had money in the bank.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
I guess I
I,
just get overly frustrated because they're
yeah,
like,
if
"Well, you guys had it so much easier." No, we
what
didn't.
what what they don't understand, if you spend more money than you make,
You're not going to have money to live.
you're gonna be living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
If you rein it in and not spend so much money
Mhm.
on shit you don't need,
Yeah.
eating out, going to parties and shit like that,
Drinking
then you'll have
alcohol and
money.
yeah.
Because alcohol is not freaking cheap.
No, it's not. And
Okay,
and
I'll
Sam,
be right back.
okay.
I gotta pee.
Okay. Yeah, it baffles me. It really does. Oh, it's in this one. There we go. Why does that look like it's floating above? Is that the way it's supposed to be? That is so weird. Oh, maybe it's because I made it smaller. Hmm. I don't know if I like that. I definitely do not like that.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, continue on your thought.
No, I just, it's I guess for me it's one of those situations of um it's like with my eldest when I made her, find a place to live that wasn't my house. It took her almost a year to realize everything I had been telling her. It's like, you know, life isn't hard. People are not going to just hand things to you because you want them. You know,
Exactly.
you have to work hard for the things that you want.
Well, see,
And if you go through and you always act like you're entitled to, you know, whatever it is that you want, one, you're never going to make it anywhere in life. And two,
because you're not entitled.
n- you're not. You
You're
really
you're not
aren't.
you're not entitled to the better things in life unless you
Yeah.
see. For me, I've never once I turned 18 and I graduated high school,
Hmm.
I have always been employed
Yes.
unless I didn't want to be employed.
Yep. Yep.
But I've always worked.
Yeah. Well, and it's
And
like
it's like,
with me, I started working. I was 13 when I started working, like actually going out of the house and doing jobs and making money
I
that
think I
way.
was, see, I was, for me, my dad would always find odd jobs.
Uh huh.
Like, we'd go buck hay during the summer.
Right.
And then I actually got a full time job while I was in high school
Okay.
at at the cannery. So I would get off school at 2 o'clock, take the crosstown bus home.
Mhm.
This is in Salem, Oregon, so it took probably an hour to get across town.
Right.
And then I would change and I would go to work and try to be at work by 3. And I would work till 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Then I would get home, watch Johnny Carson, and then go to bed and get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to catch the crosstown bus to school.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, you guys had it so easy growing up, it's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's like
If
it's
if my parents told me if you want something, you have to work for it.
yeah. And that's it right there. Is if you want something, you have to work for it. And it's
So when I
one of
wanted
my
school
daughters, she was
clothes,
like, "I'm so jealous that you guys have your house." And I was like, "You know what? You know,
work for it.
we
Fuck
we
off.
we sat here and busted our butts, and I mean, we are on a farm, so we're still constantly busting our butts. Of
Yeah, you're
course,
constantly working.
the hubby does a little bit more than I do now, just because he's not traveling overseas for work anymore. But it's something that he enjoys doing, and a lot like he was taught, when he was growing up, you work hard, you work all the flippin' time.
Yeah. The-
So it's like there so and it's like going and having a root canal done, to get him to take a break and him not feel like he's wasting time.
Well,
Yeah,
see, for
it's
me, uh, right now at the stage of my life,
mm,
okay, so I could work overtime at work,
mhm.
but I don't need to.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's like it's like I could have worked. I could have went in today and worked,
Right.
but
Today's Saturday.
it cuts into my game time.
I
I
love
have
it.
other priorities now,
Fair.
so
Fair.
they can just piss the fuck off because I don't
But
really
at the
care
same
about them.
but at the same time, you have
I'm on time
also
every day,
yeah, you're on time every day. You don't bitch,
and
you don't complain. You're just
well, I
you
do.
go in and you do.
I do at work. Like fucking morons.
Ah,
They. I'm one of those people, that I have a short temper with stupidity,
fair.
and it's like, help me, help you. Don't make my job harder. because I'm going to make your job fucking harder, you fucks. That's just the way it is.
Right.
It's like when I do replenishments,
Uh-huh.
it's like, okay, so the guy comes up to me, he hands me a piece of paper. He
Mhm.
needs the M5 or the VE5 wood top,
Mhm.
and he needs the VE4 wood tops. He
Okay.
needs this, he needs that, but he doesn't give me any part numbers.
Don't you
So
need
one,
part numbers in order to be able to do that?
well, I know what they are
Okay.
just because I've been there for fucking ever.
Okay.
So when he says I need VE4 wood tops, I
Mhm.
know, okay, so those are 100. Now, whether it's slate gray or black, he'll have an SG on it or he'll write gray next to it. So
Mhm.
I know to get the proper color that he needs.
Okay.
But it's like the other day, Gary came into the office. He's the uh, production supervisor over on the other. And he goes, Vince, do you know what this part is? It was M2019 something. It's like, I have no fucking idea what that is. You might want to check with engineering or might want to get with, he's the, he's been there longer than I have.
Right.
He came up from LA. He's one of the engineers
Mhm.
that designs the carts.
Right.
So he can tell you what it is.
Fair
And it's
enough.
actually, it actually came from another company and said we had 18 in stock. It's
Mhm.
like, well, I didn't receive it in, so I have no idea. And it turned out to be it was an engineering part.
An engineering
That,
part?
yeah, it's one of the prototype parts
Okay.
that they have. So they managed to find them
Uh-huh.
because they're all fucking sitting on a pallet in the middle of a pile of stuff. They came from someplace fucking else,
Okay.
from Mass Medical.
Well,
And it's
there you
like,
go.
yeah, I don't know what that fucking shit is. But whenever someone comes up to me and says, hey, Vince, do you know what the part number for this is? Like, what is it? And then they tell me, well, it's a keypad. I said, well, is it for the M series or the VE series? For the Gen 1 or for the Gen 2?
Mhm.
Got to give me a little bit more to work with.
Right.
Oh, and they say, oh, it's Gen 1. Then, yeah, I know what that. It's like, or do you know where this is?
Mhm.
It's like, well, did you look in the system? No. Well, you should probably look in the system first. But yes, I know where it's at because I put everything the fuck away.
Well, there you go.
It's like, and my memory's pretty good.
Right.
So, so if I put something in the warehouse, even if it's not, if they ask me for it, I know where it's at.
Well, there you go.
So it's like, but these people are fucking so damn lazy. Come on. Don't make me work harder just so you don't have to.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
I got
it's
the
like,
we've got the blue room, we've got the red room, I guess.
you got dirty plates every